A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Castaways, by Ernest Kinoy. In the South Pacific, night comes on rapidly. The sun dips below the flat horizon, the sea is crimson for a moment, and then night falls. But on Tahani Atoll, giant arc lights turn night into day. Across the waters of the lagoon, within the barrier reef, launches and tugs skitter back and forth, while on the curving half-moon of the island, army trucks and jeeps scuttle down the rough roads bulldozed by the Seabees just 6 weeks ago. A low Quonset hut stands near the beach, surrounded by tangled wire. This is the preliminary command post, and inside is General Frank Gaydosh, field director of the test. Operation Destruction.
Everything's on schedule, General. Radiological surveys complete. Instruments placement checked.
Well, get me Navy and tell them HR is as ordered. Send a periodic time check to Air Force on 90-week talk and observation control on the Missouri.
Yes, sir.
I want a complete roster check on all personnel before HR.
Yes, sir. Oh, Nate Cohen wants to see you.
Well, who the devil's he?
AP man. He's been selected by the press radio pool to interview.
I haven't got any time. Tell him to speak to Major Dwight Friedenberg. He's the PRO.
I think perhaps you'd better see him, sir. The directive on public relations from Washington was very clear.
Well, how in blazes am I supposed to run a bomb test and play mother hen to a bunch of reporters?
Washington said...
All right. Bring him in. Borelli?
Yes, sir.
Get me some black coffee, will you?
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Cohen, General Gator.
How do you do, General?
Lousy, as a matter of fact.
Is that an official statement?
No. You can run some of that the world is at the crossroads baloney.
I wrote that yesterday. General, what effect do you think the new bomb will have on the world situation?
I can't tell you that, even if I knew. My job is to set the blasted thing off and see that nobody gets hurt and collect the data.
Can I speak to you a moment, sir?
Later, Alan. Go ahead, Cohen.
Can you release anything on the scientific principles involved?
I don't even understand them myself. There, wait a minute. Dr. Muller?
Yes?
Come over here a minute, will you? Cohen, this is Dr. Fred Muller, Civilian Scientific Director. He's the only one who knows what's inside that warhead.
How do you do, Mr. Cohen?
How about a statement, Doctor?
Oh, I'm afraid all I'm allowed to say is that the bomb is new, it's extremely powerful, and off the record, it's very tricky and dangerous.
What'll happen if it goes off prematurely?
I don't think we have to worry about that. In fact, we wouldn't even know about it. If you'll excuse me.
How about the natives?
Well, what about them?
Aren't they going to be evacuated from the island?
We already have been.
General Gator.
Well, I saw the Tahani chief outside when I came in. The whole tribe squatting down at the motor pool having a conference.
What? Alan.
I've been trying to tell you, sir. The Tahani are still on the island.
Well, why? The LCTs are ready, aren't they?
Yes, sir, but they won't go. They refuse.
The schedule called for their evacuation to Mailani 3 hours ago.
I realize that, sir, but I hoped we could still get them off without violence.
Look, Alan, they're either on the island or off. Now, wait a minute. Cohen, that's all.
What are you going to do about the natives, General?
Never mind. I'll issue a statement later.
You going to force them?
Go on. Get out. I haven't got time.
All right, General. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
All right, Alan. Let's have it.
Well, sir, the Tahani have been kicking up all along. They won't leave.
They won't. Do they know what's going to happen to the island? Do they know that we're going to blow it higher than a kite?
I told the chief. He just said they won't go.
They'll go, all right, if I have to... Yeah, hey, get him in here.
The chief?
Yeah, and that lieutenant who interprets.
Yes, sir.
How do you like that, Dr. Muller? I haven't got enough trouble.
You know, I feel rather sorry for the Tahani. Can't make much sense to them. We arrive and tell them they've got to get out.
Look, I appreciate your finer feelings, Muller, but I can't let the Kanakas hold up the bomb test.
They're not Kanakas, General. Captain Cook discovered the island in 1788.
Well, what's the difference?
Lieutenant Gilbert reporting, sir.
Hey, look, I haven't got time for ceremony, Gilbert. Tell the chief he and his tribe have got to get off the island. We're providing homes for them on Mailani.
Translate,
Gilbert.
The chief says you do not understand. Mailani is a bad island. My people have lived on Tahani from the time that our ancestors were cast away on the island. The spirits of our ancestors are buried in the earth. Our fathers are buried here. Our fathers' fathers.
If he thinks I'm going to move his graveyard, he's crazy.
In our ancestors' time, the Tahani came in a great bird canoe. We were cast away on this island. We have made it our home. What right have you now to carry us over the sea to a strange land where we would die weeping for our homes? We will not go.
By the waters of Babylon, there we sat down and we wept when we remembered Zion.
Well, thank you, Dr. Muller. You're a great help. Say, Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Tell him I have no choice. He's got till midnight to get his tribe on board those LCTs peacefully, or I'll have the Marine Detachment carry him aboard.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that rather harsh, General? After all, justice is on their side. We're preparing to blow up their island, and we haven't asked them about it.
Dr. Muller, will you kindly confine yourself to the scientific aspects of this operation? I'll take care of administrative matters.
If you could explain to them what's at stake here.
Any further explaining I've got to do, I'll do with the Marine Detachments. I'm not going to hold up my schedule. Well, Gilbert?
I told him, sir.
All right, get him out of here. I've had enough. What the devil's that?
Some kind of a curse, sir. I can catch some of it. The island will remember the tears of its children and punish the invaders. The great destroyers will not destroy. And the evil man, who is the chief, will travel far through the blackness of night. Even as the children of the island end, so will he.
All right, Gilbert, take him away.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Allen, get a detail from the Marine Detachment with tear gas and small arms down to the motor pool. And in 1 hour, have those natives on that transport, and I don't care how they do it. Is that my copy, Varelli?
Yes, sir.
They must know about the bomb. The great destroyer will not destroy.
You worried about that curse?
I should think you might be. He threatened you personally. If I were you, I'd carry a pistol till they got off the island. The chief looked as if he'd cheerfully strangle you with his bare hands.
I'm supposed to end the way they do, huh? What's that?
Probably the Tahani saying goodbye to their island. I think I'll go down to the motor pool.
Well, stay out of the way. And get back here in an hour. We've got to have this wrapped up and headquarters moved out to the Missouri by dawn.
Instrument room checking in, sir.
That's the last. Have the Missouri take over control and send for my jeep.
Yes, sir.
Are the LCTs standing by for those natives?
Yes, sir. They're on the beach.
The bomb unit is assembled in place, General.
2330, right on the nose. Robin, start evacuation procedure.
The Tahani have stopped.
Allen's probably moving them out to the beach. Check in with Navy and Air Force, Borelli.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Coming to the beach.
The Tahani making trouble. Come on.
General.
Hey, Joe. Gilbert, what is it?
Colonel Allen ordered the Marines.
Well, what happened?
The natives just got up and started marching.
Did they embark?
You don't understand, sir. They marched up the cliff and right off into the lagoon.
What?
All of them, the women and the kids, too. They didn't even try to swim.
What were you doing all this time? Just standing around with your thumb in your mouth? Where was the Marine Detachment?
We couldn't stop them, sir. They just walked over the cliff. They didn't even scream, not even the kids. We sent the crash boats out, but we couldn't get them, any of them.
The crazy idiots. Were there any reporters there?
Well, Cohen and a life photographer.
Well, get his film and hold it till I release it.
What are you going to do, General? Postpone H hour?
It's too late for that now. And calling H hour off isn't going to bring the natives back.
100 men, women, and children just walking into the water. It's horrible.
I know. I'm not happy about it either. There's nothing we can do now. I gave him a chance to get off.
I was just thinking about the curse the chief put on you. Even as the children of the island end, so will he. That's what he said to you, General.
I know, I heard him.
Your jeep's waiting, General.
The great destroyer will not destroy. That must mean the bomb.
Don't worry, Dr. Muller. It'll take more than a mumbo-jumbo curse from a native witch doctor to stop this operation. At each hour, that bomb goes off.
It is now H hour minus 1 minute 30 seconds. H minus 1:30.
Video screen's hooked in, sir.
All right, check control stations.
Observation station 1.
Observation station 1, check.
Radiation station.
Radiation control, check.
Test the firing
Observation
circuit,
station
Dr.
two.
Muller.
Right, General.
2, check.
Damage control station.
Damage control, check.
All set.
Communications.
Communications, check.
All checked in, sir.
It is H minus 1 minute. H minus 1.
Take a good look at that island on that screen, Dr. Muller. When you throw that key, it just won't be there anymore. Nothing but an atom mushroom over the lagoon.
Quite a funeral pyre for the Tahani.
Stubborn idiots. They can't get in the way of progress.
Progress? I wonder if it is, General.
It is H minus 30 seconds. H hour minus 29, 28, 27, 26.
The great destroyer. That's what he called the bomb.
Hold it, Muller. Allen, report.
All checked in, sir. Cameras running.
Sound fire warning. Stand by for firing. Ready, Muller?
Ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
General, it didn't go off. The bomb didn't go off.
Borelli. Signal standby. Condition red. Yes, sir. Allen, check readings. Muller, what's wrong? What happened?
I don't know. The bomb didn't go off.
Well, what do you mean? Why didn't it?
I don't know, except for one thing. The Tahani chief said the great destroyer would not destroy. It didn't, General. The bomb didn't go off.
How about it, General? What happened? Have you got a statement?
Nothing you can use, Cohen. Not till we find out what went wrong. Hey, who let you come aboard this ship?
I walked on. You don't know why the bomb failed?
It didn't fail. It just didn't go off.
What's that tank thing on the deck, General?
Undersea salvage unit, Mark IV. They call it a bottom crawler.
Somebody going down?
Well, that bomb is down there in the lagoon somewhere. Could go off at any second. Somebody's got to go down and find it and disarm it.
That's a lovely job. Who's elected?
I am.
Wow.
And Dr. Muller. He's the only one who knows how to dismantle it.
All is ready, General.
All right. Come on, Muller.
I'm ready.
Allen, as soon as we hit shallow water, get those gates open. We'll pull the crawler out. And then you get away in a hurry. If that bomb goes while we're working on it, I don't want any casualties.
Yes, sir.
Inside, Muller.
All right. I'm in.
Now, remember, get this LST out of the lagoon in a hurry. You got that, Allen? You take your orders from Admiral Yancey.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Closing the hatch. The radar and Geiger counter warmed up, Muller.
I was just thinking of something, General. That curse, part of it came true. The bomb didn't go off.
Well?
The second part of that curse was that you would end where they ended. That was at the bottom of the lagoon.
What are you trying to do, Muller?
Nothing. I was just thinking this crawler is going to take us right down there where the Tahani died.
I'm not worried about a handful of dead natives, Muller. I'm worried about that bomb. Okay, they're opening the gate. Let's go. USU-4 to control. Depth 50 feet, bottom sandy, dropping off sharp. Anything on sonar, Muller?
School of fish.
You ever been down in a crawler before?
Only in the tank at New London. I think I've got a Geiger reading dead ahead. Hang on. Getting something on sonar now. Left to point.
USU-4 to control. Over. USU-4 to control. Over. It's a fine note. The radio's out.
Dead ahead. Looks too large to be the bomb.
Can't see much on the forward vision plate. Hey, wait a minute. That's part of the reef ahead.
That's where the Geiger reading indicated. The bomb must have settled in a hole in the reef.
We'll have to go after it in diving suits. The suits are in the locker. Let's get this over with. The less time I spend down here waiting for that bomb to blow, the better I like it.
Muller, is your helmet clamped tight? You getting me all right on your headset?
Okay.
I'm going to fill the lock. Here goes the outer door. Let's go.
This isn't like that diving tank in New London.
Look out for that coral. It can cut you to ribbons.
There's a hole of some sort there.
Wait till I get the light up. See if you can get a Geiger reading out of that hole.
Just a... There. It's down there, all right.
Careful. I'll drop down first.
See anything down there?
Muller, get down here fast.
What is it? Find something?
The bottom of this hole, it's metal, and the sides.
But it's the coral reef.
Look, welded joints. These are hull plates of some kind.
Look out, above us.
It's closing. Grab it.
Too late.
A metal hatch. It just slid over the top.
This is impossible. What's going on?
It's like an airlock.
The water's being pumped out. General, do you realize what this means?
I'm not sure. There's an inner door opening. Careful.
It's a passageway. What do we do now?
There isn't much we can do. We can take off our helmets, though. The dial shows good air.
All right. Come on.
What is this? An undersea fort? What's it doing here? What does it mean?
Whatever it is, our bomb must be down here. Wait, there's someone there.
I can't see. There's a shadow. Who is it? Who's there?
Welcome, Dr. Muller. Welcome to our ship. We've been waiting for you.
General, it can't be. Do you see it? It's the Tahani chief.
How long has the bottom crawler been down, Borelli?
4 hours, sir. 2 since we lost contact.
I'll keep trying.
Yes, sir.
I've given him enough time. I'm going to send another crawler down.
What do you figure happened to him, Colonel?
Well, there are a lot of things. Hey, how did you get in here?
I walked in. When are you going to release this, Colonel? It's the biggest story since the election. Bomber dead and Dr. Muller and General Gaydarsh dead.
They're not dead. At least we don't know they are. As long as that bomb doesn't go off, there's still a chance.
What happened?
Borelli, condition red. Gilbert, radiation control into action. Get the hot squad into Tahani Lagoon as soon as it's cleared. And get me a PT boat with radiation screen.
What is it, Colonel? What happened?
The bomb must have blown.
How about Muller and the General?
If they were down there in that lagoon, you guessed. Now get out of my way. I'm busy.
Radiation reading 75 and steady.
Take her in as close to the beach as you can.
Steady as she goes.
Is there any danger of any more explosions?
No, when she goes, she goes.
Radiation 82.
That's still safe. Cohen, is that something on the beach?
Yeah. Looks like a body. Maybe you blew one of the Tahani back out of the lagoon.
No, it's moving. Gilbert, glasses.
Yes, sir.
It's a man, all right. Head into the beach.
Who is it, Colonel?
Can't tell. He's in a diving suit. It's either Muller or General Gaydarsh. Get his helmet off. Easy now.
Twist to the right.
There. It's Muller. Gilbert, help me get him out of this diving suit. We've got to get him to the medics.
No radiation burns, superficial bruises, mild shock. He'll be all right, Colonel.
Can he talk?
For a while.
Bomb go off.
It didn't.
He's still out of his head.
Quiet, Cohen. Go on, Dr. Muller. What did you find?
A ship. A giant metal ship there under the lagoon.
Submarine?
No. It was a spaceship.
Spaceship?
Camouflaged right next to the reef. When we went inside, we found the Tahani chief and all the tribe alive.
What? They drowned in the lagoon. I saw them.
No, they didn't commit suicide as we thought. They just dived underwater into the rocket airlock.
Rocket? Airlocks? Now, look, Muller, I know you've suffered a shock, but...
But it's true.
Can't be. A spaceship built by Polynesian savages.
But they're not savages. They're the Castaways. They're from another planet. Don't you understand? Their spaceship was wrecked here 400 years ago. They've been waiting ever since for a chance to go home.
He's out of his mind. Better give him a sedative, Doctor.
No, wait a minute, Colonel. Remember their story about the great bird canoe? Maybe there's something to the legend.
Not a legend. It's true. They'd exhausted their fuel, came down out of space, couldn't find anything here on Earth to replace their fuel source until we developed atomic power.
Atomic power? You mean they stole our bomb?
That's right. Fished it out of the lagoon, hauled it aboard.
Yes, but how could they convert it to atomic drive?
They made me dismantle it for them at the point of a gun. Then just before they blasted off, they let me go.
But what about the general?
Remember the Tahani curse?
I see. You mean they killed him?
You don't understand. I said I dismantled that bomb at the point of a gun. It was General Gaydash who was holding the gun. What? He was one of them, one of their spies sent out to bring back the rocket fuel they needed. And the Tahani curse wasn't a curse at all. It said that when they left the island, so would he.
You mean he's with them now?
Yes. And after 400 years, the Castaways are going home.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
When the Gregory yacht sailed for the South Pacific, the members of the expedition hoped they would find a strange island and a little lost girl, and return the little girl to her mother. All this has been done. But now, when the yacht should be sailing gaily home with a happy party on board, it is tied up, helpless, at one of the piers on the island of Euclidia, the magic island of the South Seas. Mrs. Gregory, her daughter Joan, Jerry Hall, and Captain Tex Bradford are in Mrs. Gregory's cabin on the yacht, discussing the failure of their attempt to outwit G-47, the mad scientist.
Why, Tex, if this thing is just as you describe it, we're actually prisoners. Worse than prisoners. For now we haven't even a chance of rescue from the outside world.
I'm afraid that's about the size of it, Pat.
Oh, Mother, it's almost too much, isn't it? Just a few hours after we have found each other, and we're making such happy plans to go back to your world. Then to have it all taken away from us again.
Oh, cheer up, Cleostra. Gee, how I hate that name.
My name is Joan now, Jerry, and no one need ever call me Cleostra again.
That old G-47 keeps right on calling you Cleostra.
I think G-47 will go right on doing a number of things we'll be powerless to prevent.
It looks bad now, Patricia, but there's always a way out of everything if you try hard enough.
I sure can't see any way out of this. Gee, and I thought that message to Johnson would get us rescued right away.
How did the plan fail, Tex? Have they done something to the radio that we can't communicate with Johnson?
No, the radio is all right. Jerry talked to Johnson, and Johnson repeated the message back. That part of it was all right. The G-47 also heard the message, and he knows that I've instructed Johnson not to move in our rescue without orders from me. And unless we can find some other method of communication, those orders will never get to Johnson.
But why, Tex? Why did you send Johnson such orders? Isn't there some way he could rescue us?
That's what I couldn't figure out, Mrs. Gregory.
I'm almost sure that it would be impossible to rescue anyone from this island. It would only mean the lives of everybody who tried it.
You are right, Captain Bradford. They have weapons so terrible here that a big battleship just melts away and sinks within a few minutes. And without a chance to fire a shot, Its guns and engines all powerless.
Joan, my daughter, you've just heard these men talking about what they think they can do, of course. Nothing like that has actually happened.
I have seen it with my own eyes. A fine battleship sinking in 10 minutes. Everyone on board lost. And the only weapon used by the Euclideans was one of their larger ray guns, looking very much like one of your telescopes. Oh, Mother, even now you do not realize the awful power of things on this island.
Golly whiskers. Gee, that sounds like the real thing, Tex.
It is the real thing, Jerry. That's why I'm so hopeless about it all.
Why, Tex, I've never seen you act like this before. You can't mean you're giving up, that there's no possible way to get off this island?
No, I haven't given up. But there's no hope in any of the ordinary ways of doing these things. We've got to hit on some way of getting information to Johnson. Then he will have a chance to rescue us.
What's that information, Captain?
I'd rather not tell you, Jerry. At least not just now. Might be too unpleasant for you if G47 found out you knew the only ray of hope there is. It will take time. Days, weeks, maybe months. And until then, I want to keep that to myself.
Then let's hope that guy never finds out how to read what you're thinking about.
I suggest that we try to forget all this for a few minutes and act like human beings. Come and sit by me, Joan. I can hardly realize that after 14 long years, we're really together.
Gee whiz. Look at that, Captain.
At what, Jerry?
At Joan and Mrs. Gregory. They look just alike, don't they?
They sure do, son. And especially since Joan has a dress of her mother's own.
I said that Joan would be pretty. Almost as pretty as you are, Mrs. Gregory. And she is, too.
You're a sweet boy, Jerry. You've been good company for us on this trip. Aren't you glad we brought him, Tex?
Yeah, as far as he's concerned. But I'm sorry to get anybody into this. Your dad'll be plenty worried about you, Jerry.
Oh, no, he won't. He knows I'm with you.
Well, right now, being with me is the poorest protection I can think of.
Now, Tex, dear, don't start that again. We're all in this together because of Joan and me. And we'll all get out of it together. Don't worry any more about it. Please, dear.
Mother, when you talk to the captain like that, you look at him so soft and different, and your eyes are so large and beautiful, and now your cheek is turning red. Mother, why does Captain Bradford look so uncomfortable?
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
What is the matter with you, Jerry?
Oh, nothing.
Jerry, you mustn't do that.
I'm sorry.
Mother, is Jerry not feeling well? Why should he laugh when he says he is sorry?
Joan, you're a very scientific young lady, and your knowledge is way beyond your years. But, well, the reason Jerry was laughing is...
Yes, Tex. What is the reason?
Look, Joan, what would you think if I called you dear?
I should think it was very silly. My name is Joan.
Yes, but look.
Give it up, Jerry. Never mind, Joan. We're not making fun of you. It's just one of those things you'll understand when we get back to the world. Back to the world.
Now, there you go again, Tex. If you can't just sit still and talk about something pleasant, then for heaven's sake do something, anything, to occupy your mind.
I know a great deal about many of the things on Euclidia. Perhaps I could tell you something that would help you.
That's true, Tex. After all, Joan knows more about this island than any of us. Probably more than we shall ever know, and we haven't asked her for any information of real value.
Well, I got an idea that the more we hear about this place, the more hopeless it's going to look.
That is true. The more you see on this island and learn about it, the more you realize that the Euclideans are the most terrible and dangerous people in the world.
Just the same, they must have overlooked something. And we'll find a method of communicating with our friends in the world outside.
Tex, I just remembered something.
Something that will help us out of this?
At least it may help us to understand it. The old sailor's diary.
I was to tell you about that pitiful old gentleman who thought he had escaped from here.
What do you mean, thought he had escaped? He did escape.
Of course he did, Joan. And he was picked up in the open sea and taken to a hospital somewhere. We heard about him on a shortwave broadcast. That's how we got the position of this island. And found you, my dear.
What did you mean by that, Joan? He thought he'd escaped.
He was allowed to escape. And then when he was helpless, lost in the sea, he was picked up and brought back here to the island again.
Then those broadcasts we heard came from right here on this crazy Euclidia.
I thought there was something unnatural about the accent of the man we heard broadcasting. Someone from here, of course.
G47 himself, I think. But why go to all that trouble with the poor old sailor?
It was all a trap to get you here, Captain Bradford. I have heard your name many times, and Mother's too, although they never let me know it was my mother they were talking about.
But what did they want to get the captain down here for? Oh, I know. That formula of yours, Tex.
But why torture the poor old sailor? The broadcast would have brought us anyway.
That was something I did not just understand. They did not talk too much in my presence, but it had something to do with the diary the old man kept. The scientists wanted it, and they never found it.
That's it. G47 figured that if he allowed the old man to think he was escaping, the poor fellow would trot out the diary and try and take it with him.
What was in this diary that made it so valuable?
I am not sure, but the old sailor was allowed a great deal of freedom on the island, and I think he had found out the exact formulas and methods which made many of the Euclideans' greatest discoveries possible. And he probably had a complete map of everything contained on the island. G47 must have known and feared this.
But the diary was never found?
Never. I think it is still on the island, and although no one can think of any possible place to hide it.
Well, I should think those rays of theirs would look through everything and show the book up mighty quick.
Sure. They can even look through cement and steel with those things.
But not through the opaque cloth. The cloth of my dress, which you used tonight.
Say, Joan, that dress of yours, when G47 came into the radio cabin and saw us with the dress, it didn't look surprised. Said he knew we had it.
Of course he did.
You must have gone too near the door, Joan, and he saw you with my dress on.
I think not, but how else would he know?
He would know because I did not turn my dress in with the others to be destroyed.
Turn it in to be destroyed?
Destroy a lovely piece of material like that?
Every day?
Every evening. You have heard how we make a new dress every day in 300 seconds. You will see all that when G47 allows you to go through the laboratories.
Well, why 300 seconds? Say 5 minutes, Joan. You're in our world now, and we aren't so busy, but what we can talk in minutes.
Yes, my dear. You will do everything as we do it now.
I like to do things your way, Mother dear.
I'm sure glad you're on our side, Joan. You're going to make a great little sidekick for me.
But I like you, Jerry. Why should I make a sidekick at you?
Oh, no. That's just my way of saying that you and I are going to get along all right.
Your conversation is confusing to me, Jerry, with your many exaggerated idiosyncrasies of expression.
Golly, whiskers.
That is what I mean. Golly is what you call slang, is it not?
Oh, I guess it is.
Then what are the whiskers for? I have learned that you use a great deal of slang because you're too lazy to speak correctly. But the whiskers on the golly, there's no sense to that, Jerry.
Look, you win. I give up. Forget it.
Don't look so worried, Joan. Jerry was just having a little fun with you.
I thought I was, but I got a notion she's having some fun with me.
I'm afraid Joan hasn't had much experience in having fun, Jerry. Euclidia isn't a funny place.
No, Mother. Until you and Jerry and the captain came to this island, I had never heard anyone laugh as you do. These Euclideans only laugh when they're watching someone suffer or planning some terrible thing to do.
Now, dear, you're not going to worry any more about all this tonight, and you must get some sleep. Tex, you and Jerry say good night and go to your cabin. I want a few moments alone with Joan, and she's very tired, aren't you, dear?
Oh, no, Mother. I am not at all tired.
Oh, sure you are. Your eyes look like 2 fried holes in a blanket.
Fried holes? In a blanket? How can you fry...
Skip it. I'm sorry I started it. Good night, Joan. Good night, Mrs. Gregory.
Good night, Jerry.
Good night, Pat and Joan. Jerry will take turns with me on deck tonight, so don't worry. See you in the morning. Night.
Good night, Tex. Jerry.
Gee, Tex, they've got that funny yellow light all over the island again. You can hardly see.
That's what we're up against, kid. That weird yellow light all over this island is a pretty good example of how much we can see of what's ahead of us.
You're right, sir. We can't see a thing.
Presenting the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. Last week, Flash Gordon's memory was restored by the lithium antidote administered by Dr. Zarkov. Then the doctor and Dale Arden told Flash all that had happened while he was under the spell of the wicked Queen's drug. Zarkov persuaded him that he must take over the Blue Magic Land just as he took over the other kingdoms. So Flash went in to see Azura, who, under the spell of her own drug of forgetfulness, failed to recognize him. Azura accepted Flash's claim that he was king, and at his request ordered the entire army of the Blue Magic Men to pass in review before him. While the review was in progress, General Tall sneaked to the balcony on which Flash, Dale, Zarkov, and Azura were standing, and attempted to plunge his sword into Flash's back. But Dale spied Tall just as he drew his sword and gave the alarm, and Flash whirled in time to parry the blow and gave battle. In the duel, Flash knocked Tall's sword from his hand. Then he threw him over the balcony rail onto the parade ground below. When Flash saw that Tall was still alive after his fall, he ordered him carried away and his wounds dressed. Dr. Zarkov then warned Flash that he should have killed Tall. These thrilling adventures come to you as they are pictured each Sunday in the big full-page Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The full-page Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. When the Blue Magic soldiers see General Tall hurled among them, they stop marching and begin to voice their anger. Dr. Zarkov senses a crisis.
You should not have done that, lad. If we do not have a rebellion on our hands, we will be lucky. Listen to those angry soldiers.
You're right, Zarkov. I should have stopped to realize what throwing that fellow off here would do. There's no voicing regret. We must act and act at once.
Flash, darling, what are you going to do?
Azura, raise your hands and get the attention of the soldiers. You can quiet them down and then explain the situation to them.
As you command, my king. Azura's getting them quiet. That was a great idea, Flash. What shall I say to them, my king?
Tell them that fellow made a cowardly attack on their king.
What is the fellow's name? I never saw him before in my life.
His name is Karl.
Soldiers! That man, Saul, made a cowardly attack on your king.
Let that be a lesson to anyone who may try to follow his example.
Let that be a lesson to any who may try to follow his example.
All I ask is their loyalty, and they will find me a just and kind ruler.
All His Majesty asks is your loyalty, and you will find him a just and kind ruler.
Dismiss the review.
Dismiss the review.
Neatly done, lad. What diplomacy. That was a stroke of genius.
Yes, Flash. It was wonderful the way you averted trouble.
It was a lucky thought, friend. And I think we should take good care of this little lady. She may be able to serve us in other emergencies.
The very thing.
Dale! Prince Zarkov! Are you all right? That sounds like Khan. Why, so it is. Greetings, Khan, my friend.
Oh, Your Majesty. You recognize me? Flash Gordon is himself again, Captain Khan.
Thanks be to Tall. I knew all along that this Azura was... Azura is in the same unfortunate state I was in, Khan. I happened to get hold of a flagon of the drug Vaco.
You mean...
Your Majesty, the chief...
Exactly, Captain Khan, and now Azura's memory is gone.
There is justice after all, then. That's the best thing I've heard outside of your recovery, Your Majesty. Thank you, Khan. I have an assignment of duty which I think you may enjoy. Yes? You are to guard Azura for us. See that no one gets within speaking distance of us. They will get to her only over my dead body, Your Majesty. I'm sure of that, my friend. That's why I put her in your custody. May I take her to the kitchens and let her stir soup, Your Majesty? Why do you ask that?
I know, Flash. Khan wishes to give her a taste of what we've been through.
You were both made to do that? Yes, Your Majesty. And Princess Dale was chained to the stove. I'll remember that in case Azura disobeys my orders. But for the present, let her have the freedom of her quarters under your watchful eye, Khan. Yes, Your Majesty. Come with me, Azura.
Your Majesty, I thought I was to rule this man.
You are, under my orders. My first one is that you obey me in all things. Go to your quarters.
As my king commands. Come, guard. I can't stand that woman around, Flash. I'm glad you sent her away.
Now, Dale, really.
I'm sorry, but I can't help feeling that way. What are we going to do now?
Look the palace over. Zarkov, you take the west wing.
Very well.
Dale and I will take the east wing. Let us find the throne room.
Oh, the throne room. Yes, let's. I'm dying to see that. All I've seen are the kitchens and Azora's private dining room.
The palace is yours, Dale. But until we have everything completely under control, I wouldn't get too far away from Zarkov or Khan or me.
I won't. Don't worry.
May I make a suggestion?
Of course. What is it?
We are absolutely without any means of protecting ourselves except by our swords. Let us search for some means of defense as we look for the throne room.
A most excellent suggestion. Zarkov, I don't know what I'd do without you. By all means, let us collect weapons for our protection. On with the search.
And so our friends inspect the palace of Queen Azora. They are tempted to stop in almost every room they enter because of the beauty of the hangings and furnishings. But the object of their search leads them on, and finally Flash and Dale are rewarded when they push aside two massive metal doors.
Just a little further, Dale. Now, push.
There, we've got them open.
Flash, this is it. This is the Queen's throne room.
Oh, it is. There's the throne down there. How hollow it sounds in here.
That's because the room is so huge and empty. See? There's nothing in here but the throne at the top of those marble steps.
Plainer than I thought it would be. Just the blue magic insignia. 3 triangles on the black velvet drape. And a plain marble throne.
It's plain, but it's majestic and terribly impressive. And it seems so far away. There's no place for me to sit with you.
You shall sit at my feet on the very top step, sweetheart. Come. I'll show you.
Oh, you sat in the throne without any speech or ceremony or anything.
This is just a rehearsal, Dale. Maybe I'll make a speech later. Sit down there, dear. There, that's it.
I hope Your Majesty will forgive my mentioning it, but this marble step isn't any too soft to sit on.
When we hold court, you'll have cushions galore, Dale. We're just getting our stage positions. The scenery and costumes will come later.
I hope so.
Well, you don't sound very confident.
Well, we didn't find any weapons yet.
No.
I hope Dr. Zarkov had better luck.
Yes, our position would be more assured if we had found some means of defense. I wonder where Azora keeps her ammunition.
Personal or military?
Dale.
Sorry, Flash. I just happen to think she's probably vamping Khan right this minute.
I doubt it.
Oh, I don't think she's succeeding, but I'm sure she's trying.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if she were trying myself.
That black and white square design in the floor is attractive, don't you think, Flash?
Yes.
But I do hope they have a big crimson carpet that reaches from the throne to the door for state occasions.
Flash, Dale.
Zarkov. In here, Dr. Zarkov. Here we are.
I see you have found the throne room.
Got someone with him. Who is it?
I don't know. I never saw him around here before.
Yes, we found the throne room, Zarkov. But that's all we found.
I found this man and these globes came flashing.
Just flashed to you, Zarkov, old friend. What have you there?
This is Groundkeeper Azura's paralyzing gas globes.
Your Majesty, what are the globes for?
Explain them, Grum.
The fumes from these globes, when broken, will instantly paralyze anyone within range, Your Majesty. If they strike anyone in exploding, they will die on the spot. Very interesting, Grum. You may go. Now leave those globes here. Good work, Dr. Zarkov. Now we are able to defend ourselves. It's been a strenuous day. Let us retire to our quarters. Tomorrow, we will take over the kingdom by force.
A short time later in the officers' quarters, General Tall is discussing something.
If it hadn't been for that girl, Dale Arden, I'd have killed that ex-prisoner who styles himself king.
That's true, General Tall.
You say Queen Azura announced to the army that I made a cowardly attack.
Yes, General. She said this self-made king was only defending himself, as any of us would have done. Didn't she, comrade?
That's right, comrade.
They must have given her some of that lithium.
You think Queen Azura is drugged?
She must be to make statements like that. We must rescue her, restore her memory, and put her back in power.
Yes, General.
Then we'll recapture these fancy prisoners who are playing kings for the day. And this time, I'll make a good job of that Flash Gordon.
We'll help you, General Tall. You can count on us. Can't he, comrade?
Yes, General, you can count on us.
And we'll get some others who'll rebel with us.
Good. That's spoken like true blue magic men.
General Tall. General Tall.
Yeah, who's that?
It's Grum.
Grum, well, what is it?
General Tall.
Yes.
The enemy has got some of the gas globes.
Not all of them. Grum, they didn't get all of them.
No, sire, only about a dozen. I smuggled out some of the gas masks. Here they are.
Excellent, excellent. You will be rewarded for this, Grum.
Thank you, General Tall. I did it for my country and my queen.
Find Azura, and we'll attack the enemy.
Grum searches the palace in his attempt to find Azura. He tries door after door. Finally, he sees a light shining through a grilled, transparent door. He looks in and finds...
God, why do you stand there with that gun in your hand?
I have my orders to keep my eye on you, Azura.
What have I done? Why am I a prisoner?
You aren't a prisoner, Azura. I'm only protecting you.
Well, if you're a bodyguard, why can't you relax? Come and sit down here beside me.
Oh, no.
Why not? Are you afraid of me?
Listen, Azura. I'm afraid of no one, man or woman. I simply am not interested. If there is nothing I can do for your comfort, I'll go outside and stand guard in the hall.
Oh, very well. Bring me some vodka.
I'll get some and be right back. Here, you. What are you doing here?
I was just seeing if Azura was well guarded.
She is. I'm here. Now, get out. And stay out.
Certainly. Certainly.
Late that night, the masked rebels are led by Grum to Azura's quarters. From their position on top of a high wall...
Blow some of the sleep gas on the enemy guards.
At once, General Tao.
That's taken care of them. Now, where is Azura?
Right this way, General. There, see? There's the guard who ordered me away. He's asleep across Azura's doorway.
Give him a shot of the gas, Grum.
With pleasure.
Now, let's get Azura.
Look, there she is, asleep.
I'll awaken her. Azura. Azura.
She doesn't move. Is she?
No, she's not dead. She's breathing all right. She may be exhausted and sleeping soundly.
But, General Tao, they may have drugged her so she wouldn't be able to escape.
No matter. Asleep or drugged, carry the Queen to safety. Then on to kill Flash Gordon.
Will Saul succeed in restoring Azura to the throne? And what will happen to our friends Dale, Flash, and Zarkov? Follow the picture version of these thrilling adventures in the big full-page comic weekly, which is distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. In order to completely enjoy the radio program, you should know what Flash Gordon and Dale Arden look like. And Saul, Dr. Zarkov, Queen Azura, Khan, and the other amazing characters who appear in this series. You'll find them all vividly portrayed in full-colored action pictures each Sunday in the big comic weekly and only in the comic weekly. This marvelous comic weekly, the world's foremost collection of humor and adventure, is published in full-page size and is just crammed full of the funniest merrymakers and the most daring adventurers in the world of pictures. So be sure to get the big full-page comic weekly next Sunday with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And don't forget our date next week at the same time for the next chapter in the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon.
high price of turkeys? Can't get eggs for your pumpkin pie? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape.
You're trapped in a remote valley of the Andes, walled in by sheer rock precipices, and surrounding you, closing in on you, is a band of blind men who want your eyes.
Escape, produced and directed by William N. Robeson and carefully plotted to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to the high mountains of Ecuador and to a remarkable world where sight is unknown, as H.G. Wells imagined it in his curious story, The Country of the Blind.
My name is Ibarra. I am a mining engineer in Quito, Ecuador, high in the towering Andes. And up until a year ago, my chief sport was mountain climbing. My last climb was an attempt to scale the remote and forbidding peak of Pariscotopetl, a 20,000-foot crag unconquered by man. It is unconquered still. 3,000 feet from the icy summit, our party turned back and fled for their lives. All of us escaped except one, a guide named Nunez, who slipped and fell over the precipice, disappearing into the vast chasm that yawned 10,000 feet beneath us. The horror of that man's fall has haunted my dreams for a year. Because of it, I have forsaken mountain climbing for the rest of my life. And that decision still stands, even though today I have seen Nunez. He was sitting on the steps of my shack when I arrived at the mine this morning. At first I didn't recognize him. He was so much changed. I thought he was a ragged beggar asking alms.
Is it you, Senor Ibarra?
My name is Ibarra, yes. What do you want?
You do not know me, Senor.
I know. You look like a man I knew once, but he is...
Dead? Dead on the slopes of Pariscotopetl?
Nunez. No, it couldn't be you.
Nunez. That is my name, Senor. At least that is the name I remember.
But you fell. I saw you fall.
Yes.
It's impossible that you could have lived.
Perhaps the gods of the mountain had some reason to spare me.
Nunez, if we'd had any idea that you were alive, but you went down thousands of feet. We couldn't even attempt to find your body.
I know. I do not blame you. You could not have reached me. And if you had, I should not have welcomed you at first. But then later...
What do you mean, Nunez?
Senor, you will not believe what I have to tell.
I can hardly believe that I'm seeing you, talking to you. But what has happened to you?
You remember that night, the night I fell?
Yes.
We had been toiling all day, inching our way up a steep ice wall. And as darkness came, we found a narrow ledge, barely 3 feet wide.
It's not very wide, but we can get our shoulder wall up, cut off some of this wind.
Well, that'll be welcome.
Yes, but first we'll rest a moment. Look at that icy devil up there, glistening in the moonlight.
There's another 3,000 feet of sheer ice wall to the top.
Well, I can see why no one's ever made it. Think we should go on?
I don't know. Nunez, what do you think?
It is not my place to say, senor. I was hired to guide you to the top. I agreed.
What do you really think?
If I believed in the gods of the mountain, as the Indians do, I should be frightened now. Why? Because we have invaded the Forbidden Circle. This part of the Andes is unmapped and unknown, senor. And therefore shrouded in superstition, eh? It is an easy thing to believe strange things in this white loneliness. Some of the legends are really fascinating. I've heard of one, something about a hidden valley called the Country of the Blind.
Yes. It is supposed to be somewhere down there below us. A fertile valley which was settled many centuries ago, and then cut off by the great landslide of Araka.
But why the Country of the Blind?
Well, even before it was isolated, the people developed a strange illness. All of them slowly went blind. After that, their children were born blind. And the legend is that the valley was the home of the mountain gods. It was too beautiful for human eyes.
That's odd. But it's all nonsense.
Yes, of course.
Would be pleasant to find it, though. You know the old proverb, in the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king?
I doubt that we could ever find it. I even doubt if it exists.
Of course not. I was only joking.
Yes. Well, now if you're arrested, we'll make the shelter wall.
Right. I'll give you a hand in a minute. Believe me about it. For 2 pesos, I'd give up this time. I never realized how...
Senor, I'm slipping!
Hang on! No net! No net!
In one horrible instant, my foot had slipped on the treacherous ledge and I'd gone over, falling far out into the icy black night, falling down, down. I fell perhaps 1,000 feet. Then I felt a heavy stinging impact of snow. I'd fallen on an almost perpendicular snow slope. And now I was sliding down, down, tumbling over and over. And then suddenly I realized that my own motion had almost stopped. And it was the snow that was moving. I was riding an avalanche. At almost the same moment, I went over the second precipice. It was higher than the first, much higher, perhaps 4,000 feet. I fell with the snow for what seemed minutes, every second expecting the terrible final impact. But the impact never came. Miracle of miracles, that sheer wall blended almost imperceptibly into another steep snow slope. And again I was sliding. Gradually, as the arc of the slope curved away, I felt myself slow down. And finally I rolled to a stop and lay still. When I awoke, it was morning, and I was covered with snow. I shook off the cold white blanket on my chest and rested a moment. And then I rolled over on my back and looked up. My heart almost stopped as I saw from where I'd fallen. Why, the mountain towered 10,000 feet above me. Then carefully I felt of myself. My clothes were torn. I was bruised and bleeding. I ached in every muscle, but I had not a single broken bone. I lay there and offered up a prayer to the gods of the mountain. Far below me lay a lush valley sparkling in the morning sunlight. I could see the stately trees and the green meadows fresh with dew. I started down the mountain, but it was still an arduous descent. The farther down I got, the more I realized the beauty of the scene. Why, this was a hidden paradise I'd fallen into, and I was the first man ever to see it. So I thought, but I was wrong. I realized that first when I saw the cultivation in the meadows, and then the walks, well-kept stone walks laid in a symmetrical pattern all over the valley. And then I saw them. There were men and women lying under the trees and resting in the fields. Nearby, a collection of windowless huts marked a village, and the plastering of the houses was done in a wild variety of colors. I thought to myself, the plasterer who did that must have been blind as a bat. Then I saw 2 of the men quite close to me. They were standing on a bridge over the little stream. They were dressed in odd, loose clothing, and there was a strange look about their faces. They failed to notice me as I approached until I shouted. Suddenly they looked up attentively in my direction. I waved wildly at them, but they took no notice. Why, the fools must be blind. Blind? Could it be that I have fallen into the country of the blind? In the country of the blind, a one-eyed man can be king. Hello there. You needn't be afraid. I won't hurt you. I come in peace.
It is a man, or a spirit come down from the rocks.
Oh, I'm a man, all right. Just like you, but I've had a miraculous escape, and now I find myself here in your valley.
Valley? Valley?
Come hither. Let me feel of you.
Yes, certainly. Here, my arm. Is my face? You see, I am a man, like yourself. Here, feel my lips. They move with speech. Oh, careful there. Gently, those are my eyes.
Eyes? Eyes?
That is strange. Feel this correa.
Yes, I feel.
Careful. Feel the eyelids flutter?
He is but imperfectly formed. Some strange bulge there. Unseemly.
No. You see, your eyes are shrunken in, but mine are whole. I can see.
See? Pedro, he is a strange wild one. Where does he come from?
He must have come down out of the rock.
No, from over the mountains, out of the country beyond there where men can see. From Bogota, where there are 100,000 people and a city stretches out of sight.
Sight? What strange words he uses, without meaning. And feel the coarseness of his hair, like a llama's.
Our fathers have told us men may be made by forces of nature. It is the warmth of things, and moisture, and rottenness.
Let us lead him to the elders.
But no one need lead me. I can see.
See?
Oh, yes, of course, I can... I didn't see your water bucket.
His senses are still imperfect. He stumbles and talks unmeaning words. Lead him by the hand, Pedro.
But look, Oh, well, all right. These people had been blind for centuries. They had forgotten even the words associated with seeing. And they thought I was an idiot, only half-formed. Especially when they led me into the pitch blackness of one of their windowless huts. And I stumbled for someone.
8,000 pardons, Medina Sarota. He's a clumsy one.
I'm sorry I fell down. I couldn't see in the darkness.
Who is this? And what is he saying? He is but newly formed, good father. He has come down from the rocks. He stumbles as he walks and mingles words that mean nothing with his speech.
He is a wild man out of the rocks.
No, I come from Bogota, over the mountains.
You hear? Bogota. He uses wild words. His mind is hardly formed. He has only the beginnings of speech.
Bogota?
Yes. I come from the great world where men have eyes and see.
That must be his name, Bogota.
He stumbled twice as we came thither.
He must be taught.
No, you don't understand. I can see, but not in the dark. To you, darkness or light is all the same, but to me, to us who can see, to us outside in the world beyond the mountains...
Mountains? What are mountains?
Very well, then, beyond the rocks.
There is nothing beyond the rocks. That is the end of the world.
Oh, but surely you must realize the sky above covers more than just this valley.
Sky? Above? There is nothing above but the roof of rock. He is very raw, my children. He shall have to be taught from the beginnings. Now take him away. Feed him.
It shall be done, good father.
But guide him. See that he does not stumble over my daughter again.
Do not fear, Father. I shall guide him myself and feed him.
Very well.
Come. Take my hand.
Thank you. It'll be a pleasure to get outside again, out of this darkness.
Come this way.
Yes. What is your name?
Medina Sarote.
Mine is Juan Nunez. Oh, sunlight. Oh, this is better. And now I may look at you. Why, you're beautiful. I cannot tell you what a wonderful thing you are to see.
Please, you must be careful.
Why?
If you do not learn quickly and cease speaking such strange words, they may not be so kind to you. They might be angry. They might even destroy you.
This thought had not occurred to me, and suddenly I had a twinge of fear. Still, the proverb kept running through my mind. In the country of the blind, a one-eyed man is king. But try as I would, I could not make them understand my wonderful gift of sight. They thought me stupid and untaught, almost an idiot. Day by day, I learned their peaceful ways, but they could not learn mine. It was beginning to get on my nerves. Theirs too, perhaps.
Bogota? Bogota, come hither. Bogota, you move not.
No, and I won't, you old beetle. I'll show you. I'll leave the path.
Bogota, trample not on the grass. It is not allowed.
How did you know I stepped on the grass?
I heard, of course.
Heard, but I didn't make a sound.
Why do you not come when I call you? Can you not hear the path as you walk?
I can see it.
There is no such word as see. Cease this folly and follow the sound of my feet.
Oh, my time will come.
You will learn. There is much to learn in the world.
Has no one ever told you in the country of the blind, the one-eyed man is king?
Blind? What is blind?
Oh, never mind.
Bogota, I must warn you. Just keep quiet and learn. And stop this nonsense about seeing.
Nonsense, is it? I'll show you I've taken enough of your insults. Unformed mind. Got no sense yet. I'll be king here. I can see and I'll be king.
Bogota, stop it.
No, I'm through with your orders. I'll show you what an advantage sight can be. I can hit you and hurt you, and you can't see me to strike back.
Bogota, put down that spade.
You devil, your ears are sharp, aren't they?
Bogota, there must be no violence.
By heaven, I'll hit you if you come any closer. I swear I will.
Put down that spade and come off the grass.
You don't understand. You are blind, and I can see. I can see.
Bogota.
I'll hurt you. I swear I will.
Put down that spade.
Leave me alone! I hit him with a spade and ran. Over the wall outside their valley, back to the rocks, back to the cliff I'd come from. When I reached that sheer rock wall, I knew there was no place to go. For 2 days and nights, I stayed outside the valley. I grew hungry and cold. Then I realized the hopelessness of my position. I was trapped. I must spend the rest of my life here. There was no way out. So I went back. I confess, O chief of the elders, I was mad. I admit I was only newly made.
That is better. And do you still think you can see?
No. That was folly. The words mean nothing less than nothing.
And what is overhead?
Rock. There's a roof above the world, a roof of rock and very smooth.
Very well. And...
Please, before you ask me any more, give me food or I shall die.
Very well, give him food. Medina Salate. And after that, we must put him to the most menial tasks in the village. Guard him well. And perhaps he shall learn yet.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that is better. You are kind, Medina Sarote. Very kind.
I am glad you came back.
You are? If they were all like you, I should never have run away.
What was that word you said I was?
Beautiful. You are. But even your eyes, they're not shrunken depressions like the others.
It means something nice, beautiful.
Something very nice, Medina Sarote. Tell me, why is it you have no husband?
I have a disfigurement. These long hairs.
Oh, your eyelashes? Oh, but they're beautiful.
They are considered a disfigurement.
You're the most lovely girl in the valley. But they wouldn't know, would they? You have no lover?
No.
Medina Sarote, what do you think of me? Do you think of me as an idiot like all the rest do?
Oh, no. No, you have much to learn, but you will learn it, I'm sure. And you are kind and gentle. And your voice is soft. You speak words that are soft and warm. No one has ever spoken such words to me.
And I shall speak them often, Medina Sarote. You are the only one in this valley, in this whole world I care for. And so it began. I, the village idiot, the slave boy who dreamed to be king. I, with my eyes still whole, fell in love with Medina Sarote, the daughter of the elder of the village. Only to her could I open my heart without fear. Only to her could I speak of the beauty I could see around me. Oh, it is a beautiful valley, Medina Sarote. Green with grass and yellow with sunlight. And flowers, bright flowers dotting the hills. And in the cool of the night, the stars gleam like diamonds in the sky.
Oh, the words sound lovely. But what are stars?
Stars? Why, no, you wouldn't understand.
And what do you mean in the cool of the night? You still get that confused one. The night is warm. The day is cool.
Oh, no, it is you here who have them backwards. Because the darkness means nothing to you. You work in the cool of the night and sleep in the heat of the day, but...
You are teasing me.
No. Oh. What does it matter? All that matters is you. You. Here beside me, Medina Sarote. I love you.
And I love you.
I know they still think me an idiot, but you listen to what I say, and you don't think me an idiot, do you?
Oh, no. I like to hear you speak.
Then, would you marry me?
Yes. Yes, Juan. I will marry you.
No, I will not have it.
But, Father...
He is an idiot. He has delusions. He cannot do anything right.
But he is getting better. He's better than he was. And he is strong and kind. Stronger and kinder than anyone in the world. And he loves me. And I love him.
No, I will not have it.
Great, sire. If you please.
What is it, good doctor?
I have examined Bogota, and the case is clear to me. I think very probably he might be cured.
Huh? And how might that be done?
His brain is affected by something. I believe I know what it is. Those queer things he calls eyes. Where we have but an agreeable depression, he has great lumps with flaps over them that move and long hairs. Consequently, his brain is in a constant state of irritation.
But what can be done to cure him?
A very simple surgical operation. Remove the cause of the irritation. We will merely cut out his eyes.
But, Juan, they say it will make you well. It will make you look like us.
But you don't understand, Medina Sarote. My world is sight. You would not want me to lose my most precious possession?
I don't know.
There are so many beautiful things to see. The flowers, the far sky with its drifting clouds, the sunsets, the stars. And you. If only just to see you it is good to have sight. And I would never see you again.
Juan, I love to hear you say these things, even though I know it is just your imagination.
But, my dear, these things are real.
No, they are fancies. This is real. If you will let them cut out your eyes, we can be together always.
Then you want me to?
Oh, if you would. If only you would.
What else can I do?
My dearest one. My dearest with a tender voice. I will repay you.
Oh, Medina.
Be brave. And carry my voice in your thoughts. Now I must go. And tomorrow...
Yes?
Tomorrow will be forever.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Medina. I suppose I knew it then, when I said that. I only meant to go up on the rocks and look out over the valley, to spend my last days feasting my eyes, my precious eyes, on the wonderful, beautiful world of light and color. But when I got there, it was too beautiful, too lovely, this valley, this home of the mountain gods. Beautiful and forbidden. I drank it in. The green of the fields, the blue of the gently curving stream, the orange of the lichen in the rocky crevices. I climbed higher to see the great snow-capped peaks towering above and away to the distant sky, and still higher as the shadows turned the snow to purple and crimson and deep blue. The valley now was far below and as beautiful as a painting. But like a painting, it seemed unreal. Medina Sarote was small and far away, a distant dream. And the world of sight was here, all around, overpowering, wonderful. I turned and began to climb up that sheer rock wall. How many months it took me to make my way out over those mountains, over glaciers and snowfields and sheer precipices, I cannot guess. How I lived through the cold and hunger of it, I cannot tell you. But I'm here at last, back from the country of the blind.
Good heavens, man. What an experience.
Yes. Terrible and wonderful.
But you aren't sorry you came back?
Sorry? I see her face clearly now. It is the only thing I see.
Nunez, come, you need food. Here, take my hand.
Thank you. Where is it, Senor Ibarra?
Nunez?
Yes. The gods of the mountain have had their revenge. Those months of crawling over the snow and ice, with the sun glaring down. Yes. I am blind.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson, and tonight presented The Country of the Blind by H.G. Wells, adapted for radio by John Dunkel, with Paul Frees as Nunez, Peggy Weber as Medina Sarote, Bill Conrad as Ibarra, and Harry Bartell as Correa. The special musical score was conceived and conducted by Cy Fewer. Next week,
when you're tired from a hard day at the office, or your back aches from bending over a hot stove, next week at the same time, when you want to get away from it all, we offer you Escape.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Rogers in the 25th century. And the shower of silver dollars from Popsicle Pete's Money Box. Buck Rogers, the amazing young fellow who was born right here in our own 20th century, but who was held in a state of suspended animation for 500 years. And now he's living in the highly mechanized and super-scientific world of the 25th century. In company with Lieutenant Wilma Deering, a girl soldier, and Dr. Huer, the greatest scientist who ever lived, his life is one thrilling adventure after another. why just recently they flew their rocket-powered spaceship to the far-off planet Jupiter to run down Killer Kane and Ardela, arch-criminals of interplanetary space. But now they're back on Earth again. And our story opens in the weird and wonderful laboratory of Dr. Hewer at Niagara, the capital of 25th century America. We find the old scientist alone, working feverishly over a mass of strange diagrams and complicated formulas that cover the top of his desk. Let's join him there. Here we go, 500 years into the future.
Heat output times the square of the lens radius times pi equals... I've got it.
Hello, Doctor.
Wilma, look. I've worked out the heat radiation formula for the mechanical mole.
Mechanical mole?
Here. Let me at that subcosmic radio unit.
But what under the sun is...
Excuse me, Wilma. Calling Factory B18. Factory B18.
Factory B18,
Rankin, this is Dr. Hewer.
Oh, yes, Doctor.
Set the radial heat controls exactly as I tell you.
Yes, sir.
Number 1 at 33 degrees, 4 minutes right. Number 2 at 7 degrees, 17 minutes right. Number 3 at 9 degrees, 9 minutes left.
Yes, sir.
Do it immediately. We'll take the mole on a test run just as soon as we can get over there.
Yes, sir.
Signing off.
Well, now, Doctor.
Where's Buck, Wilma?
Why, he's out making a trial flight in the new super rocket ship you developed just after we got back from Jupiter.
Oh.
But what is a mechanical mole?
Well, then wait. We'll want him in on the test run of the mechanical mole, too. Central Radio Bureau? Dr. Hewer calling Central Radio Bureau.
Mechanical mole, did you say?
Central Radio Bureau, Stratton speaking.
Oh, Dr. Hewer, Stratton. Do you know where I can reach Captain Buck Rogers?
Oh, he's making a test flight, Doctor, in the new interplanetary rocket.
Yes, I know. But where is he?
Well, last reported about 17 points west of the moon.
Oh.
Flying a course in the general direction of Saturn.
Well, then use a subcosmic power beam to contact him immediately. Ask him to join us at the spaceport just as soon as he can get back to Earth. Hangar number 4.
Oh, the experimental hangar.
That's right. And radio Sergeant Carlborg out there that we're coming. Tell him to have everything ready for us.
I'll call them both right away, sir.
Thank you. Signing off.
Starting.
Did you come over here in a rocket-powered air roadster, Wilma?
Well, yes, Doctor, I did.
Fine. We'll use it to fly out to the spaceport. Come along.
But I don't understand. All this talk about a mechanical mole and heat radiation formulae...
Wilma, we're about to embark on the most amazing scientific venture we've ever attempted.
Oh, really?
Come along now. I'll tell you about it on the way over. Oh, good. Your rocket roadster is the enclosed model.
Now, it keeps my hair from getting blown all over the place.
That's what you're wearing a flying helmet.
Well, that's as good an excuse as any.
Here now. Get in.
Want me to take the controls?
If you like. All ready.
Then here we go. These little things certainly make a quick takeoff, don't they?
Well, don't spare the power. The sooner we get over there, the sooner we'll be able to start out in a mechanical mole.
Well, tell me about it. What is it? What's it for? What's it do?
Look, Wilma, for years we've devoted all our time and effort to exploring the vast reaches of outer space. Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, even far off Pluto.
Yes, and we've had some mighty interesting times on those planets.
Yes, but as a result of the fascination of interplanetary exploration, we have utterly neglected the very world we live on, Earth.
Yes, I guess so. But now, what has that got to do with...
A few elementary facts we do know. Seismographs, instruments that measure shocks and vibration in the Earth, have indicated that it has a central core some 4,000 miles in diameter, composed, in all probability, of the heavier elements like iron, nickel, platinum, and radium.
Only, of course, they're liquefied.
What?
Awfully hot in the center of the Earth, isn't it?
The temperature is probably in thousands of degrees.
Well, then, the elements you mentioned must be liquefied.
No. Although that temperature is far higher than that at which any known substances could be ordinarily used and remain solid, the enormous pressure is undoubtedly sufficient to keep it from melting.
Some pressure?
Well, normal atmospheric pressure, that which surrounds us all the time, is a little over 14 pounds to the square inch.
Yes, I know.
But the pressure at the core of the Earth is estimated at about 3 million atmospheres.
Good night. But now, Doctor...
Now, of course, we know that most of the Earth's land surface is covered with a layer of sedimentary rock.
Mm-hmm.
Particles of rock and sand that were spread about by water following the Ice Age, and then settled and stuck together.
Yeah?
Now, geologists agree that a widespread granitic layer extends well under all the continents.
Mm-hmm.
Other common minerals are shales and sandstone and basalt in such forms as diorite and gabbro, And ecrogite and pacholite.
What and what and... Oh, now listen, Doctor. You're just trying to mix me all up and change the subject. I want to know about the mechanical mole.
Well, then watch your navigation and swing us round.
Huh?
Directly below us, there at the spaceport.
Oh. Great day, that thing?
Yes.
Why, it looks like a big, long metal sausage.
It's made of flexo-impervium, the toughest and most flexible metal known to us.
That huge lens at the end of it. And those little fins sticking out all over the sides.
A thermic radiation projector. A heat ray.
Oh.
And the fins shield a system of non-recoil energy projectors.
But what is it for? What does it do?
Well, what's the controls? We're heading straight down at it.
I'm sorry. It's such a strange-looking thing. And look at all the people gaping at it from that barrier that's strung around.
Well, land us there in the open space between it and the hangar.
Okay.
You see, there's Sergeant Carlborg waiting for us.
Yes, sir. I'm cutting the power. Now we'll coast down.
We're dropping pretty fast, Wilma.
Then I'll use some reverse power to land us without a bump. Now, let's get out so I can find out what this mechanical mole is all about.
Dr. Hewar, sir.
Hello, Carlborg.
Hello there.
And Lieutenant Wilmer. Well, I might have known you'd be coming along on this experimental trip, miss.
Well, now I know that the mechanical mole is capable of making some kind of a trip anyway.
Been having quite a time keeping the crowds back of the fence, Doctor. They all want to have a look at her.
I thought you were going to keep it in the hangar, Carlborg. Not the sort of machine that should be around where people can get at it or into it.
All my men are keeping them all at a safe distance. You see, Mr. Rankin from the factory brought it out here to make some adjustments on it.
Oh, then he's already been here?
Yes, sir. Left just a minute ago.
Fine. That means we can start out in the mechanical mole without delay.
Well, what about Buff, Doctor?
Oh, of course. It's funny that he isn't here. I told him to come out and make himself at home in the mole whenever he... Carbo.
Yes, sir?
We were expecting Captain Rogers to meet us here.
I haven't so hide a hair, Captain Rogers, Doctor, since the day you three took off for Jupiter, when you went after Killer Kane.
Well, I expect there's nothing we can do but wait for him. And while we're waiting, Wilma, I'll take you into the control room with this machine and explain to you how it works.
At last I'm going to find out what it's all about.
And Carbo.
Yes, sir?
You better have your men clear a long path for us in the general direction of the city. We don't want the withering heat from the thermic radiation projector to hurt anyone when we start up.
Yes, sir. Do it right away, sir.
The rocket rest to be all right here next to the hangar?
Yes.
And come on, let's get into this big machine.
No, wait a minute. There's the radio call signal inside the hangar office.
Oh, let Carlborg take it.
He's moving the crowd back. Only take a second to answer it, maybe Buck. Here now.
Buck Rogers. Center Radio Bureau calling Captain Buck Rogers. Calling Captain Buck Rogers.
Hello?
Urgent message for Captain Rogers from the office of the President of America.
Oh, well, Captain Rogers isn't here, but I am expecting him any minute.
Dr. Hewar?
Yes?
This is Stratton speaking.
Oh, Stratton.
I'm sure it'll be all right for you to relay this message to the captain, sir. Besides, you ought to know about it.
What is it?
Well, it reads as follows. Killer Kane and Ardela have escaped.
What?
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Then tell the President we'll drop everything to get on their trail immediately.
No, wait, sir. You'd better hear the rest of this.
Well, all right, go ahead.
Killer Kane and Ardela have escaped from the emergency prison where they were placed to await transfer to the city prison.
Yes.
A clever trick made it possible for them to get a 24-hour start in the rocket plane you used for the Jupiter expedition.
The fastest ship in the universe.
Entire Space Patrol fleet has been unable to pick up that ship's rocket trail. Apparently, there's nothing we can do but wait until the two criminals show up again. Urge, however, that you keep constantly on guard against Kane and Ardela's reappearance. End of message.
All right, Stratton. Thank you.
Doctor, what can we do?
Nothing, Wilma, except what the President suggests. Wait for them to show up again.
I know, Doctor, but do you suppose they really did leave Earth in that ship of ours?
Why, what do you mean?
They might have just sent it flying alone by the automatic controls as a trick.
Possibly. To throw us off that trail.
Crowds all move back, Doctor, and you can... Say, what's the matter?
Nothing. Come along, Wilma. We'll board the mechanical mole.
Yes, sir.
Right this way. Crowd's mighty anxious to see that big machine get started, Doctor.
Are they?
Yes, sir. You'll catch it. Hey, look. Look, it's moving.
You're right. And the heat ray at the nose of it, it's starting to glow.
Doctor, Killer Kane and Ardela.
You're right. And with that heat ray, the lives of all these people out here are in danger.
And Kane and Ardela won't hesitate to use it.
It's moving over toward the crowd of people right now. Come on, we've got to stop it.
Stop it? How?
Then what can we do?
Get those people away from here. Come on, get them away.
Great day. The terrible destruction that could be done with the gigantic heat ray in the nose of that mechanical mole is too appalling to even think about.
Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Visions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have conceived an extremely daring and dangerous plan to surprise two criminals who are holding Carol captive in the Martian hills. Right now, they're nearing the hideout in a small atmosphere ship.
We're getting closer. Fasten your safety belt, Happy. Here's where we intentionally develop power failure. I'm all set, sir. Hang on. About to make the worst landing of my career. That ground's coming up awfully fast, Commander. Got to make this look like a disastrous crash. Okay, but it's beginning to look too realistic. Now, brace yourself. It's beginning to look like a real thing to me, too.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, Crash Landing. Yes, it's Space Patrol, but first, a direct broadcast from the yard of Public School Number 10 on the planet Terra. It's recess here, gang, and I've got my eye on a fast-moving boy named Jeff Fisher. Man, is he supercharged. Hey, Jeff, come on over here and tell the gang how you get supercharged every morning.
I just do it the way Buzz Corey does it. I eat a good breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal, like Rice Chex.
Rice Chex? Say, that Rice Chex is real swell eating, right?
I'll say, and it's bite-sized, too.
Only bite-sized rice cereal in the universe.
Only rice cereal for me, boy. It's plenty keen.
You betcha. So, boys and girls, don't you think it's about time you tried Rice Chex? Remember, to think fast, to act fast, you have to eat a breakfast that supercharges you. A power breakfast with a checkerboard super cereal. So today, make it Rice Chex, the delicious bite-sized super cereal that helps to supercharge you. For several weeks, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have been on the planet Venus, conducting an undercover investigation into a plot to defraud the United Planets government and Venus businessmen. Now, in civilian clothes, Buzz and Happy are in a surface car in Venus City, headed for the Venus City spaceport. Between them is a sealed pouch containing the results of their intensive work.
There's a private space cruiser waiting for us just inside the east gate.
Well, sir, do you think Vio knows that you've been investigating him personally?
I can't be sure, but by using private ships instead of Terra 5 or other official ships, we stand a good chance of not being detected.
And it sure was a bad break running into Carol last night in the lobby of the Venus Hotel.
Luckily, I don't think anyone overheard when she called out our names. I looked around very carefully.
You told her why we were in civilian clothes.
Mm-hmm. She may be able to help us now that she knows the facts.
It looks like we picked a good time to blast off from Venus, Commander. The whole east end of the spaceport is deserted.
We're in luck, Mr. Beale. Corey's car's the only one on the side road.
Well, we'll need a lot more luck to get that evidence away from him.
It's a break for us that he picked this deserted end of the port.
Speed on, Bob. We can pass him before he gets to the gate.
Then inside the gate, I make a quick turn, slam on the brakes, and you tumble out of the truck.
Yeah. Chances are Corey won't suspect anything when he sees that this is a regular Space Patrol maintenance truck. They're usually in a hurry anyhow. Pour on the power, Bob.
Car behind us. They're blinking their lights to pass.
By the way they're closing in, they must be in a hurry. Slow down a little and pull over.
Yes, sir.
Be on your guard in case they try anything.
Wow, that guy drives like a maniac. Did you see him whiz past us?
It's a maintenance truck.
Now, I'll bet the driver's another one of those washed-out space pilots. They always drive like they're solar of the universe. Hey, look at him barrel through that gate. Commander, the fool's going to turn.
Happy, stop. Somebody fell out of the truck.
Smoking rockets. What a spill. He turned so fast it tossed the other guy out.
At least the driver stopped. Come on, Hap, let's see if the man's hurt.
Yes, sir.
There's no excuse for that kind of driving.
It's lucky we weren't going much faster. We might have run over him, Commander.
Drop the commander, Hap.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. The fall must have knocked him cold.
I'll turn him over gently.
Okay.
He didn't know I was going to turn. I slammed on the brakes just as he pitched out of the truck. Yes, I saw it.
His head doesn't seem to be injured.
I hope there are no bones broken. Let's have a look at him. None of my business, friend, but you shouldn't make a turn at that speed.
Yes, I know. I was in a hurry to get to the other end of the spaceport.
Just take it easy now. You'll be all right. Now, don't move. Let's have a look at that leg.
Yeah. Have a good look. And put down that wrench.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Grab the cadet wheel.
I got him. Slug him, Henry.
Let go of me.
Hurry. Get to their surface car and grab the evidence.
Okay.
There is a dispatch case in the seat of the car.
That must be it.
Take a look in the back, just in case. We want to get all of it.
There's nothing back there, Bill.
All right, come on. Let's get to the truck.
Look down the road. Here comes another surface car.
It's headed right for the gate.
We'd better get the truck rolling before they get here and start asking questions.
Oh, we won't stand a chance in that truck. Let's take the spaceship.
Huh?
Hurry. We can blast off before the car gets here.
Happy. Happy.
Oh, my head.
Happer. Our car and their truck are still here, but our spaceship is gone.
I thought I heard a blast off, but I figured it was inside my head.
I heard another car approach, but didn't come through the gate. It must have turned down the road paralleling the fence.
The evidence, sir. Did they get it?
Yes, it's not here. I guess our undercover work wasn't so undercover after all. It must have been Vio, and he and his partner have taken our private cruiser.
Well, maybe we can get another ship and blast off after them.
First, let's go to local headquarters and spread an alarm. You drive that truck, and I'll take the surface car.
Commander, an all-planet space patrol bulletin on Vio is being spaceophoned now.
Good. I hope our units can intercept him before he has a chance to change shifts.
We aren't going to stay here at Venus City headquarters, are we, sir?
Right now, there's nothing we can do that the search units can't handle. Besides, I want to investigate this gadget we found in the truck Vio was using.
Oh, that funny-looking electrical device. What is it?
It's a stimutron.
A what?
Stimutron. It's a high-frequency electrotherapy machine used to treat advanced cases of venous fever.
Oh, you mean the blood condition that some people get from being in the Venus swamps too long?
Yes. This machine is the only successful cure. There are only about 6 stimutrons in the solar system, all in hospitals or clinics. No private individual has one.
Well, then what was this one doing in the truck?
Stolen, probably. Stolen by someone who needs the treatment, so who doesn't dare go to a regular hospital.
You mean Vio has Venus fever?
Or one of his gang. I'm notifying all doctors to report anyone applying for stimutron treatment.
Well, didn't Vio spend a lot of time around those Zyrola plantations in the swamps, arranging crooked deals?
Yes. If he's got venous fever, he made a bad bargain when he traded that evidence for the stimutron.
Oh, by the way, sir, did you get that message from Carol?
Yes, she called 2 hours ago. I guess she thought we'd be on our way to Mercury by now. But she checked out of the hotel. I just contacted the manager.
Checked out? I thought she was going to stay here a week.
I guess she suddenly changed her mind. She left orders for the hotel to forward her luggage to Mercury. We don't have any idea where she is.
I wonder why she decided to go to Mercury all of a sudden.
I hope it isn't her plan to follow us.
Well, if it is, she's going to get a surprise when she lands on Mercury and finds out that we aren't there.
We'll be on Mars in a couple of hours, Mr. Vio. It was a great idea of yours, taking Corey's space cruiser.
Well, I've been checking over this evidence Corey gathered. You know, if this ever got to court, I'd be finished.
Well, there's nothing to worry about now. All we've got to do is lay low.
Henry! Oh, no.
What's the matter, Mr. Vio?
Oh, the stimutron. I left it in the truck.
Oh, well, there's probably one in Lowell City Clinic on Mars.
I can't just walk into the clinic with every space patrolman in the universe looking for me. I got to have those treatments. You know what that Venus fever does to me. It makes me helpless as a baby.
Well, what are we going to do? We can't go back to Venus.
Of course not. Henry, this is awful. Listen.
What?
I thought I heard the compartment door close back out.
Oh, you're just nervous. Relax, Mr. Vio. You'll think of a way to get those treatments.
Yeah, sure. I just got to.
Well, it's Happy. I hope you won't be angry.
What are you doing aboard?
Well, I thought
Mr.
this
Vio.
was...
It's the girl we saw at the hotel.
Shut up, Henry. All right, miss. What are you doing aboard our ship?
Your ship? This is Commander Corey's ship, Mr. Vio.
You know who I am. You have the advantage of me, Miss
Carlisle. Carol Carlisle.
Secretary General's daughter.
That's right, and I demand you return this ship to Venus immediately.
That's impossible.
We can't keep her with us, Mr. Vio. She's dynamite. The smartest thing for us to do is drop her off somewhere and be sure she's safe.
Yes, I know. You're right, Henry. But if we do, we're running a good chance of being captured. Why did you have to spoil everything by being aboard?
I had some information to give Commander Corey about you, Mr. Vio, and your friend Bob Henry.
I was going to tell them where they could find you.
Well, your attempt at playing detective has put you in a delicate position, and me in a dangerous one.
Can't let anything happen to her, Mr. Veal. I'd say it's worth the risk to see she's returned safely.
Wait a minute. Maybe this is a break for us after all.
Some break.
We can get this girl off our hands and still have a chance to avoid being captured. Henry, we'll go on to my hideouts on Mars. I know how we can contact Corey without the risk of being captured.
Commander, communications picked up Carol's voice on Spaceophone Channel 87.
What?
It's being taped, sir.
Channel 87.
Perfectly safe. I can't tell you where I am, but Don Beale and Bob Henry intend to release me.
This is Don Beale, Commander.
Beale's got her.
Don't try to contact me, just listen. I've got Carol Carlisle, but it's her fault, not mine.
That's true. I was aboard your private cruiser at Venus City Spaceport. After the ship blasted off, I came out to give you some information about Beale and found him and Bob Henry at the controls.
Just keep listening, Corey. Carol's voice and mine are on a microtape, automatically repeated from a robot-controlled rocket. It won't do you any good to locate her rocket.
He's a tricky crook, all right.
Get this, Corey. I want to get Carol off my hands. All I ask is a break. I've got Venus fever. If I don't get that stimatron back, I'm finished. Here's my proposition. Put a man in a spacesuit and drop him off in space at a point which I will give you in a moment. Withdraw your ship 10,000 DUs and wait 2 hours. I will pick up the stimatron from your agent and leave Carol near him. Also in a spacesuit, of course. Now get this. Carol's suit will be equipped with a cartridge that can be exploded by an electronic signal from my ship.
Space try it.
If any attempt is made by your men to space a phone, you, before the 2-hour limit is up, I'll detonate the cartridge. Now, here's the point to drop off your men.
Write this down, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Sector 4 Jupiter orbit, at intersection of celestial meridian 22, sun ecliptic angle 2 degrees, 23 minutes, 15.84 seconds.
Got it, sir.
If you agree to these terms, spaceophone your answer on 139 megacycles. I'll be listening. Stand by for a repeat of this tape. BO out.
Cut it, Happy. The tape is on automatic rewind.
What are you going to do, Commander? Give him the stimatron?
Of course. I want VO, but I want him alive. If you get Carol back safely, we can go after VO with everything we've got. Switch to 139 megacycles, Happy. As I computed, Happy, this is the location VO specified. I'll reverse rockets and stop the ship.
Right, sir. I'll get into my spacesuit.
Well, there's the stimutron.
What about that gadget I'm supposed to attach to VO's ship?
No, right here.
It's a miniature spaceophone transmitter.
Uh-huh. With a magnetic attachment to hold it to the hull of the ship. It's set to start sending a signal 2 hours after it's fastened to the ship. All right, into the airlock, Happy. Don't waste your spacesuit transmitter until I contact you. Remember that explosive cartridge in Carol's suit. Commander Corey aboard Terrified, calling Cadet Happy. Come in, Happy.
Happy to Commander Corey. Are the 2 hours up?
Yes. Did VO show up?
Yes, sir. Everything worked fine. He dropped Carol out quite a distance from me, and I've been using my jetpack to get over to her.
Is she all right?
I don't know, sir. She hasn't moved. She's just floating. I haven't been able to contact her by spaceophone.
I'll come and pick both of you up.
I've reached her now, sir. Why, that stinking crook.
What's the matter, Happy?
Carol isn't here, Commander. The spacesuit is empty.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Hey, you want to have some fun, gang? Listen to this jet cycle. Why, it's just a putt-putt, that's all it is, because all it has to go on is ordinary fuel. But pour in some super fuel and then see what happens. Wow, that jet cycle is supercharged now. Yes, sir, when it comes to supercharging, there's only one answer: super fuel. And the same thing holds true for you, especially in the morning when you haven't eaten for hours. To really get going, you have to get supercharged. Now, here's Buzz Corey's way of doing that. He eats a power breakfast with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the super cereals. And boy, oh boy, you ought to see how the commander dives into that Chex.
Yes, sirree, gang. Checks are really good. They're so good, you grab the biggest bowl you can find, you shake in the checks, pour on the milk, sprinkle on the sugar, and that's it. You're eating the best-tasting cereal in the universe. And to make a good thing even better, Rice Chex and Wheat Chex have that modern bite-sized design for easy eating. Zip, zip, zip. That's how easy it is to eat Chex. Now remember, gang, a rip-roaring breakfast with Chex is Buzz Corey's way of getting supercharged. So get going in the morning the way he does. Get out a big bowl and fill it with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the super cereals that help to supercharge you. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have followed to the letter the agreement with Don Vio, who promised to return the Secretary General's daughter Carol at a prearranged point in the Jupiter orbit. But instead of Carol, Vio pushed an empty spacesuit out of his ship. The commander has arrived at the scene of the rendezvous, and Happy, now aboard the commander's ship, is removing his spacesuit.
That double-crossing, underhanded space rat.
Vio is all of that, but now we've got to help Carol.
Must have done something to her. And now he's got the stimultron.
He's also got a miniature spaceophone attached to his ship.
Hey, that's right. Do you think we can pick up the signal yet?
Now turn on our receiver.
Hey, it's working, sir. Now we can track him down.
Yes, we've got to be careful. As long as Carol's in his hands, we can't take a chance on closing in on her.
Oh, doggone it. Cosmic ray interference.
See if you can filter it out, Happy.
Yes, sir. All the times for that to happen. That seems to be getting worse.
We'll keep on this vector. Maybe we'll pick up the signal again.
I got it, Henry. The stimultron.
Oh, good. Any trouble?
No, not a bit. Corey and the cadet were as good as their word. Have you found Carol yet?
No. Frankly, I haven't looked. She was stupid enough to crawl out the back room window. Let her take the consequences.
Don't you understand? If she's not found, we'll have to take the consequences.
Oh, all right, Mr. Veal. Come on. We'll look for her.
No. You look for her. I got to hook up the stimultron and take the treatment. I'm getting an attack of Venus fever.
The interference is gone, sir. I've got a fix on the signal.
Good.
It's coming from the direction of Mars, and the source is stationary.
Then Vio has landed. We'll head for Mars and locate the ship.
I've got it, sir. The ship's down in the Tharsis Hills.
Let's scan the terrain with the viewscope, Happy.
Yes, sir. There's the ship. Shall we come in lower, sir?
No, not in this ship. We can't let Vio know we've located him.
How about notifying other units and swoop in quick and surround him?
Remember, for all we know, Carol's still safe. If Vio's cornered, there's no telling what he might do to her.
Well, then we're stymied.
Well, not quite. There's one way we can land the ship fairly close to his hideout without making him suspicious.
What's that, sir?
Commercial atmosphere ships fly over this part of Mars. So we'll head for Lowell City and borrow one.
Well, wouldn't Veal get suspicious if a commercial ship landed in that deserted section?
Sure. If it was an ordinary landing. That's why I'm going to space a phone ahead and order a couple of crash suits.
Crash suits?
Uh-huh. We're going to stage an accident right in Vio's front yard.
Carol! Miss Carol, I see you. Don't try to get away. Come here. You little fool. Where do you think you're going?
I thought I could get to a relay station.
There isn't one for miles. Besides, you're heading the wrong direction. Now, come back to the shack.
And if I refuse?
Then I'll carry you back. Why don't you be sensible? When the sun goes down, you'll freeze out here. What was the idea of running away in the first place? Dio was going to return you to Corey.
I don't trust him.
Well, one thing's certain. You won't survive the night out here in this hill. So you might as well trust us. It's to our advantage now to get you back safely.
All right.
Well, now you're showing some good sense for a change.
We're getting closer.
Yes, we can cut the signal now. Well, fasten your safety belt, Happy. Here's where we've developed power failure.
I'm all set, sir. I guess.
Now, Hap, here's where I make the worst landing of my career. Nervous?
When I put the shock suit on, I thought I could jump off a skyscraper in it, but now I'm not so sure.
Near that knoll, Hap. 100 yards from Vio. Now, brace yourself. Here we go. Well, here we are. Everybody out.
A very realistic crash, sir.
Are you all right?
Yes, sir. Except I can't move my right foot. It's caught in the wreckage.
Was it hurt?
No, sir. The padding of the suit protected it. It's just wedged in.
Vio, his partner, will be running out here very soon. Maybe I can pry that bent duralloy apart and get you out before they get here.
Well, why don't we go ahead with our original plan? Leave me here in the ship while you circle around to the shack.
Our original plan didn't call for you to be helpless.
Well, that'll make it look all the more like a real crack-up. Besides, Carol may be in danger.
You may be right, Hap, but you'll be safer if you pretend to be unconscious.
Yes, sir.
I'll climb out the port. Hey, we did a good job. What a mess. If you're in trouble, use your miniature spacer phone. I'll keep mine on.
Here, where are you going?
To the ship.
Oh, no, you don't. I'll get back to the shack.
But somebody might be hurt. We've got to help them.
Nobody could be alive in that mess.
Well, I'm going to see anyway.
Carol, come back here. We've got to get Bio and blast off before the rescue ships arrive.
Get Vio if you want. I'm going to help.
Carol, come away from that wreck. It might explode.
Oh, pilot. I can get him out.
Sorry.
Happy. Are you hurt?
Well, I'm okay. The commander and I planned.
Miss Carol, get away from that wreck.
It's Bob Henry, Vio's partner.
Pretend you don't know me.
Miss Carol, if you don't get away from here...
It's unconscious. Why don't you go get Mr. Vio?
Yeah, now, isn't it lucky he was wearing a crash suit? Stand back, Carol. Let me have a look at him. Corey's friend, the cadet. All right, snap out of it, cadet.
Leave him alone.
Quit playing possum. I heard you talking to Carol.
All right. Quit shaking.
I'll get out of the ship.
I can't. My foot's caught.
Oh, it is. Well, I guess you won't be much trouble. Just to make sure,
What are you going to do?
give the cadet an anesthetic.
Don't hit him.
Oh, my hand. That blow never even phased it.
It's the shock suit, stupid. And if you come near me, I'll clout you into the next sector of Mars.
There's no use bothering with you. Commander's probably around here somewhere. I've got a way to handle both of you.
What are you going to do?
Plant this cartridge in the wreckage where the cadet can't reach it.
No. Give me that.
Get away.
Hey, don't shove her around like that.
She'll get worse than shoving around in a minute. There. Now, if I have to detonate that cartridge, cadet, well, with all these metal fragments and the remaining fuel trickling through the wreckage, there ought to be quite an explosion.
Henry, you can't do that.
And it's up to you to see that I don't have to. Come on, Carol. I'll get Vio in the detonating control. And, cadet, if Corey's smart, he'll let you stay alive to see us blast off. Go on in, Carol. Hurry up.
Yeah, good work. You found her.
Did you hear that crash, Vio?
Yeah, I saw the ship hit the other side of the knoll. I was going down when I saw you and Carol run over. No survivors, I suppose?
Too many. Vio, we've got to get out of here. Corey and the cadet staged that crash.
What?
Cadet's pinned in the wreckage. Corey's probably around somewhere.
Come on, then. We got to get to our ship and blast off.
Wait a minute. Where's that detonator unit? The one that explodes these cartridges.
It's on the shelf. What do you need that for? Let's get out of here.
I've planted a cartridge in the wreck to take care of Corey and the cadet. Okay, now let's go.
We'll have to take Carol with us for protection. Corey will send a flock of patrol ships after us. Come on, Carol, let's go.
Take your hands off of me.
Let go of her, Vio. Get your hands up. You too, Henry.
Oh, Buzz.
Hey, we're blasting off. Put that gun away and step aside.
If you don't, I'll fix that cadet of yours for good.
Buzz, he means it. Henry put one of those electronic cartridges in the wreckage.
And all I've got to do is press this button and transmit a signal that'll blow that wrecked ship to bits.
Play it smart, Corey.
Give me that gadget, Henry.
I warn you, don't come any closer.
One more step and your cadet's a goner.
We'll see.
Right, press the button, Henry.
All right.
Oh, Buzz.
Corey, I didn't think you'd make me do it.
Oh, well, it was a wreck anyway.
Happy, I thought...
Carol, stand back.
Rush them, Henry.
Carol, get out of the way.
Henry, get the gun.
Oh, no, you don't.
Oh.
Have any more ideas, Vio?
No.
Buzz, I nearly died when that wreck exploded. I thought that Happy would be blown to bits.
I caught a glimpse of Happy through the window. He'd already gotten out of the ship. I couldn't tip you off in front of these two.
I'd pried myself out of the wreck with a hunk of loose metal.
Happy, let's get these characters into their ship and take them to Terra.
Yes, sir. Come on, Henry, on your feet.
Vio, where's that pouch full of evidence you stole from us?
They destroyed it, Buzz. They burned it.
Yeah, at least we got ahead of you there, Corey. Now you can't convict us of larceny and fraud.
That isn't going to help you, Vio.
No, compared with what we've got on you now, larceny and fraud are going to sound like flattery.
An exciting preview of next Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. But first,
Hi, boys and girls. This is your commander reminding you to send in today for a pair of space binoculars. Send in today because this offer is soon going to end. You see, I don't want you to get left without one of these swell new binoculars. They're an item I want every single one of you to have. I just couldn't get along without my space binoculars. And for you to be a real space patroller, for you to be one of my own gang, you should have a pair of official Space Patrol space binoculars, too. So don't get left out. Send for your space binoculars today. They make everything in the distance look bigger and clearer. You don't even have to hold them. Just slip them over your head and a strong elastic band holds them snugly to your eyes. You can study birds in the trees, spot planes in the sky, read faraway signs, see who's coming up the block, and do all kinds of other things with them all year long. Yes, sir, they're the real McCoy. 4-power space binoculars exactly like mine. Big plastic binoculars, 5 inches long and 5 inches wide. When you wear them, they stand out from your eyes 3.5 inches. So you see, they're not flimsy celluloid goggles or a mask. Now, don't get left out. This is the biggest value we've ever offered, and the offer soon ends. Captain Dick Tufeld, tell the gang how to get their space binoculars.
Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. Gang, if you don't agree your binoculars are tops, return them and we'll return your money. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have descended into a canyon on Venus to rescue a wounded space pilot. As they reach the injured man, a flash flood roars down the river, piling water up behind the dam above them.
We gotta get him out of here quickly, Happy. The water's rising fast. Once we get into the lake, we shouldn't have any trouble carrying him to the top. It's a landslide. Press close to the dam and keep your head down. Smoking rockets, that was close.
Hurry. We gotta get him up the path. There may be another landslide.
Commander, look up there. Most of the ledge is swept away. We're trapped.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Mysterious Meteor, when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston again present Space Patrol!
This is Commander Corey congratulating a great organization on its 43rd birthday, the Boy Scouts of America. You're an inspiration to youth, a part of America itself. Space Patrol salutes you, Boy Scouts of America.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Len Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Ken Mayer, Virginia Hewitt, Bela Kovach, and Stephen Robertson. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol. And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC TV station. Consult your paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.